Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to look at linear function representations. If you've completed the previous videos of slope and linear function forms, then today's lesson will be a lot easier for you. So we can represent linear functions with an equation, a table, or a graph, and what we're going to do is, given one of them, find the other two. So example 1. Given an equation, write a table and graph the function. So here's our given equation, y equals 2x minus 1. We notice that our slope is 2 over 1, right? Change in y over change in x, so it's 2 over 1 our slope. So we're going to plug in some points here on our table. So you don't want to have just 0, 1, 2, 3. You want to put a negative in there if you can. So when we plug in negative 1 into here, we have 2 times negative 1, which gives negative 2, minus 1 giving negative 3. So minus 1 and minus 3 is a point on our graph. Plug in 0 into here and we get negative 1. So 0, negative 1 is a point on our graph, which is right here. X 0, y is negative 1. 1 comma 1, right? If we plug in 1 into here, we get 2 minus 1, which gives 1. So 1, 1 is another point on the graph. Plug in 2, we get 4 minus 1, which gives 3, which is another point on the graph. We connect the points with a line, and so there is the graph of the function, and there is the table of the function as well. Okay, B. Here's our function given y in equation form, y plus 2 equals 2 over 3 times x plus 1. And so as we've seen in our linear function forms, it passes through the point negative 1, negative 2. And we see the slope here is 2 over 3, like that. And so we're going to start at that point, negative 1, negative 2. This is going to be our beginning point. We are going up by 3 for x and up by 2 for y. Up by 3 for x, up by 2 for y. Up by 3 for x, up by 2 for y. And then we take these points, plot them on our graph, and then we graph the function as such. Okay, practice number 1. Given the equation, write a table and graph the function. Go ahead and pause the video and answer that. Okay, we're back. So A, y equals negative 1 over 3x plus 4. So a good point to start out is 3 when x is negative 3, because 3 divided by 3 keeps our answer into an integer like that. So we're going to start with negative 3. We plug that in and then we get 5. So that's on our graph, negative 3, 5, like that. And then now we're going to go up by 3 for x and down by 1 for y, right? Change in y over change in x. Up by 3 for x, down by 1 for y. Up by 3 for x, down by 1 for y. And then we can see which points are easy to graph. So these first 3 here. So negative 3, 5, 0, 4, and 3, 3 are points on the graph, and we graph the function as such. Okay, B. 3x plus 2y equals 6. We can rewrite this as y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 3, like that. So I'm going to start with x being negative 2, because 2 over 2 keeps it an integer, like that. So we plug in negative 2, we get y equals 6. So negative 2y equals 6, like that. Now we're going up by 2 for x, down by 3 for y. Up by 2 for x, down by 3 for y. And so we graph these points on our graph. We plot the points. There you go. And so there's the graph of our function. Okay, example 2. This one, given a table, write an equation and graph the function. So first thing we're going to notice is that we're going up by 1 for x and up by 3 for y. Up by 1 for x, up by 3 for y. So our slope here is 3. And we notice that when x equals 0, our y value is negative 4. And so that is our y-intercept. And so y equals 3x minus 4, like that. And then we just graph this function here. So we start at -4, over 1, up 3, over 1, up 3. And so there is the graph of our function. Okay, B. This is what's given to us. So we're going up by 5, down by 2. Up by 5, down by 2. Up by 5, down by 2. So that's our slope, -2 over 5, like that. We notice that when x is 0, y is 3. So that's our b value. And so there's our equation. Y equals -2 over 5x plus 3, like that. And then we can graph that using the points or this, doesn't matter. See, I'm going to start at y. I'm going to go down by 2, over by 5. Down by 2, over by 5. And we connect that, and so there is the graph of our function. Okay, practice number 2. So here we are given a table, and we're going to write an equation and graph the function. Go ahead and pause the video and answer that. Okay, we're back. So A, we notice we're going up 2, up 3 for y. Up 2x, up 3 for y. Up 2x, up 3 for y. So our slope is 3 over 2, right? Change in y over change in x, like that. We notice that when x is 0, y is -2, so that's our y-intercept. And so there is the equation for our function, y equals 3 over 2x minus 2. And then we're going to graph that. So we go to -2, you go over 2, up by 3. Over 2, up by 3. And so we plot that there, and there's the graph of our function. B. This is what's given. Up by 4, down by 1. Up by 4, down by 1. So our slope is -1 over 4. When x is 0, y is 1. So our b value is 1. And so this is the equation of our function. And so we start at 1 here. Down by 1 over 4. Down by 1 over 4. And then we plot all those points, draw the line, and there is the graph of our function. Okay, example 3. Here we are given a graph, and we need to write an equation and table of the function. So we're looking here, we notice that we're going over by 3, 1, 2, 3, up by 2. So over 3, up by 2. So that is 2 over 3 as our slope. The y-intercept is 1, so that's our b value. And so y equals 2 over 3x plus 1, like that. And then now we want to plug in numbers into our x value so that we get integers. And so we're going to start with -3, right? 3 over 3 is 1, like that. So if we plug in -3, we get -1. And we're going to keep going like that. Up by 3, up by 2. Up by 3, up by 2. Up by 3, up by 2, like that. So there is our table, there is the equation, and there's the graph. B. Here is our graph. We notice that we're going down by 3, over by 5, so that's our slope. Y-intercept is at 3, and so here is the equation of our function. And now for our table values, you want to start at 5 because 5 over 5 keeps the answer being an integer, like that. So plug in -5 and we get 6. And then you could just continue like this, up by 5, down by 3, up by 5, down by 3, up by 5, down by 3, like that. Okay, practice number 3. Here you are given a graph, and you are to write an equation in slope-intercept form and table of the function. Go ahead and pause the video and answer that. Okay, we're back. So from our first graph, we see that we're going over 3, up by 4. So that's our slope. We notice that the y-intercept here is -2. So here is the equation of our function, 4 over 3x minus 2. And now we're going to start at -3 because 3 over 3 makes it integers here. So -3, plug that in, you get -6. So we're going to go up by 3x, up by 4y, up by 3x, up by 4y, up by 3x, up by 4y. And so there is the table of the function. Okay, B. Here are our given points. We notice that we're going down by 1 over by 3, like that. So we get our slope. And we notice that we don't have a clear y-intercept, but we do have the point 1, 3. And so here we have a slope and point, and so we're going to use our point slope form. So we have y minus 3 equals slope times x minus 1, like that, right? We already covered this in previous videos. And so now we're going to rewrite this differently into slope-intercept form. So we're going to go times 3 on both sides and distribute the 3 and distribute the negative 1. So we get 3y minus 9 equals negative x plus 1. We're going to go plus 9 to both sides, so we get 3y on its own. And we're going to now divide by both sides by 3, so y equals negative 1 over 3x plus 10 over 3, like that. And so there is the equation in slope-intercept form. And so we have a couple points here. We know that on the line is 1, 3. And so we're going to follow this slope like this. We're going to go up by 3 for our x, down by 1 for our y. Up by 3 for our x, down by 1 for our y, like that. And so here's the table, and then here is the equation of our function. And that's it. It's that simple. I'll see you guys in the next video.